It's like it's Larry.
Oh,
Zoom.
oh, wait,
It's not letting me
Never
sign
mind.
in. Oh, there it goes.
there you are.
Join as panelist. Okay. Okey dokey. Well, not first of the year, fifth of the year. So welcome to the new year. And we'll start off with a roll call. So evidently, this we're shy today, but we still have a quorum.
We do.
Is somebody out there? Was anyone?
No one's out there.
Oh, so just
You
just
two
us?
are the
Just you guys.
panelists, I guess.
All right. Oh,
Michelle Fitzpatrick, secretary.
Ray Rafferty, Vice Chair.
Ann Schmidt, member.
Larry Dunn, chair.
And Dave Prescott, staff.
All right, and the remainder of the commission is unavailable. First item of business is approval of minutes from December 1st, 2025.
I move we approve the minutes from December 2025.
I'll second.
All right, any comments, additions? I keep looking that way, but there's just a.
Well, you gotta keep, that way so Dave doesn't feel left out of the meeting.
Right.
No, I didn't have
No
any.
comments? All right, well, accepted without objections, we will pass and approve the minutes of meeting. Public communications. Now, I had a couple. They had an email from Eugenia Delagra, who of the GCA, and she sent I guess a link on the microplastics and the fact that they now have treatment plants that filter out some of the microplastics.
Jen's here.
Oh,
That's-
okay. Should we advance that in the calendar?
We might as well, because she's
Yep.
on and she's
Okay.
public, so we may as well just have a
Uh,
discussion, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
All right, let me,
She can take Jeff's place. So why don't you finish any public communications you all have, and
okay.
then we can get Jen in there.
And the second one I got was from Joan Smith.
I'm sorry, what did Eugenia want?
Eugenia, she provided a link to a um, microplastics treatment plant. So
Ah.
it's something would be added to the water
Okay,
department that extracts microplastics, which is kind of a new thing.
yeah, because I haven't heard that before. So.
Yeah, so she sent along and it looked interesting. I don't know if there's any interest in the town to do that, but that was something that came up and we'll probably see more of. Since one of the reports I've seen said that each of us has at least a credit card worth of plastic in our
Yeah.
system.
That was a few
So,
years ago.
It's not, and that was several years ago, so now we have two
Right.
credit
Yeah, we-
cards in.
Card.
Yes. So that's something that we probably should think about at a later date. But that's obviously going to be probably a bond issue or something to get something like that done. So let's see how that goes. The second email, was from Joan Smith of GOSA and Ashley Lorinsky, and it had to do with 42 Thomas Road. We've talked about this a lot, and there wasn't any request per se. It was just, is there any interest? And we've had this discussion before, so there's really no new information, but I thought I would mention that there was interest out there to see if there's anything we could do. Third email was from Patricia Pia on Pleasant Valley, and it had to deal with how do we get public input in setting RFP requirements for open space? And I responded that from our last meeting, that I was going to talk to John Reiner based upon a follow-up from you guys, and I'll get to that a little later. That was the ones I had. Were there any other public communications that anyone else received? Dave? No? All right. Well, since we're going to do a little bit of a hold from an accelerating agenda since Jen is out there. So let me turn it over to Michelle.
Okay, well, we're gonna put Jen as a participant.
She's already gone.
Oh, Stacy, that she's staying with someone called Stacy. It's like, who's Stacy? But Stacy's the friend she's staying with down in Florida, so. Hi, Jen.
Hi. I'm not used to where her camera is. This is kind of weird. Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Well,
Hi.
thank you for joining us on your vacation.
Well, thank you. And I just
She's a
wish I could
Florida.
send you some weather that we're having here because it's
That's good. Yeah. 20 degrees every morning when I wake up. Not fun.
No.
yeah, it was in the low 80s today, so I'm not
Yeah.
but
Moving
think of
right
me on
along.
Monday when I fly back and it'll be worse.
Culture shock, yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to continue our third year doing this together. I feel like Michelle and I've got our groove on, and I see Anne and some of the other wonderful project folks. And it was great that we had a meeting with Sabit too, so that we could coordinate a little
Yep.
bit more. But Michelle, I'll let you take the lead.
Okay, so just so you know, Jen, unfortunately, Tabitha has resigned from the town and taken a consultant job. So it doesn't mean we won't do those projects. It's just, I was so looking forward to having her be involved because she seemed to be the most enthusiastic of the people.
Maybe she can act as a volunteer.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the idea would be, so the project suggestions are in the agenda package. And so we want to finalize the project selections. And then on February, what was it, 10th? Jen, the date that, no, 2nd. It's the first Monday of February, right?
Yep, first.
Yeah.
It's not letting me search on your, to get your email out here, so.
Do we need a special meeting for that?
No, that's when we're going to meet with the students.
Okay. Not,
Okay. Yeah, so Anne and Giselle and I, right, the three of us will be the subcommittee that will meet with the students in with Jen's class to so we want to get this solidified to present to the students. And Jen, will you be giving it to them ahead of time?
Yes, I'll make sure that they at least get a glance at it ahead of time.
Okay.
We do take like at the welcome back event in January. You should get an invite, Michelle, because it's a Friday. It's the lunch and it's the welcome back for all classes.
Okay.
They usually do like a little bit of peer-to-peer mentoring because the peers give them good advice, like, hey, don't bite off more than you can chew, and they're like more likely to listen to each other than to me and me or you. But there's 11 sophomores this semester that we selected to join the center. So that means with 3 doing the Groton Earth Day Expo project, that means 4 other projects could be picked.
Yeah, that's perfect.
If they were done in pairs. Yes, we're done
By
in
the way,
pairs.
this is our 4th year, Jen.
Oh, are you serious? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
because we have 3 years worth of reports for Earth Day, so, yeah.
Thanks for
Okay,
making
so
me
the
look
idea
here.
is for us to finalize these descriptions as much as we can. Obviously, once we pick students pick them and we talk with them, it could change based on what the students really want to do, but this gives them an idea. So what I did was in addition to the title and description, I also prioritized them so the numbers are what I thought was our priorities. And if we want to change a priority, let me know, because I'm not hard and fast on those priorities, but I figured I'd start it off and we could decide.
well, you listed 4 and there's 4 teams. So does that mean?
No, there's 1,
five.
2,
4, I see.
3, 4, 5, 6. There's
And
1,
there's
2,
5.
3, 4,
I know,
5, 6.
Just looking.
No, that's the numbers are priorities, not the number of project, right? The projects aren't numbered. The number is the priority. So there's
Sorry,
1, 2,
sorry,
there's 2 on the first page and 1,
I'm easily
2,
confused.
3,
That's
4,
right.
5. There's actually
I
7.
was gonna say the 7 project.
Okay,
There's 7 projects.
okay.
Right, and that's what, and Jen was about to renumber them too. It's like, no, those numbers aren't project numbers, they're priorities. So I figured the Earth Day is the top priority. It's the only top priority, right? And we agree with that, right?
Yes.
So that's the first one we'll make sure is staffed. And I think that's pretty straightforward. Anybody have anything they want to change about?
Aha.
Who's here? Anybody have anything they want to change about what we're saying
Let
about
the
the
minutes
Earth Day
reflect
project,
that
or
Tom
everybody
Olson has joined
I can work with
at
it.
I thought so too.
10
That one's
past
so
5.
standard, it's like we.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the second priorities, I have two things. I have the stewardship idea, which is now a lot sadder without Tabitha, but I think we can still do it. And the trees, which unfortunately Giselle's not here. So actually, she gave me did she give me more details? And I didn't put them in there. Anyway, so those two I had as second priorities. And then third priority is the updating that backpack that we have for Get Outdoors, invasive species mapping, fast fashion, which I actually kind of like that idea the more I think about it. And then it's a lower priority because we're not really sure where we're going with that, is the Get Outside Groton, the nature play space. So let's just go in order. So the stewardship of town open space, that's where the students would take the now I'm guessing we're gonna have to talk to Mark Barry and see if he still wants to do the stuff like that Tabitha did. But regardless of how much that he is, I mean, from our perspective of stewardship, having something like this is necessary. Like having something that you could just, tell a volunteer, here, go on this app and fill out this form when you do stuff. So I think it's worth, even regardless of where Mark stands on how much he's going to be involved in it, I think it's worth pursuing. Does anybody have any other idea about that, though?
I'm okay with that. I think there's a couple farther down from a priority point of view that I would go with.
Okay.
I'm okay.
All right, so let's and Jen, did you just chime in if you have any questions about any of these in terms of what the students will be doing or whatever.
I just wanted to ask you quickly, Michelle, did Sabit get back to you about what projects he might be willing to volunteer with?
No, I just put him on the stuff that we used to have Megan on. But he seemed interested. So we had Jen and I had a really nice talk with him. He seemed interested in participating out and but he's so new. So we figured don't even try to let it wait till next year for him to come up with new ideas or whatever. But now he has an idea of what we're doing. Yeah. Okay. So the third one, the Groton trees. I think we need Giselle to come up with, she was going to look at the priorities in the tree plan or whatever. I mean, I think we don't have enough detail there. We need to get more detail.
Yeah, one of the things I asked her is to match up, and I kind of reduced the action plan to the top 4 or 5 items. And I think the tree canopy cover assessment methods probably matches that the best from the action plans. It's the first thing you do, right? Is to measure and understand. So, that would be probably between the two on the tree canopies. I would go with
the tree canopy
cover assessment methods.
And what would they be doing for that? Like what would the students be doing? Investigating what the methods are and reporting on how people do it, or
websites that might have some information about percentage of cover.
Yeah. I mean, it was only a subset was reviewed. So how do you get a better coverage of the town-owned trees than what we've done in the past? I mean, we spent a lot of, I don't know, I won't say a lot. We spent money to have a consultant come in and go do that. Is there a more cost-effective way of doing that doesn't rely on somebody walking the streets? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if like GIS is good enough right now to really be able to pick out.
I'm not saying GIS.
No, I'm just, if you're saying not walking, you're kind of more, I think where you're going is something more desktop.
Yeah.
So that would be like a GIS thing, and whether or not that is what we have for that right now.
Well, if you look at Google Earth, I can walk the streets.
Right, you can. I just don't know how well that translates.
The detail down to trees or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to do the work, but one has the ability to take a picture, look at the tree and then identify through a program what the tree is, for example. I mean, so it's a question of the levels of now whether it's diseased or not diseased. I would agree that's a different issue. Yeah.
Previous year students that did this projects too had identified some websites that might shed light on that. So one of the things that we could have them do is look at past years projects and work with the town and do some searches on their own to see. Occasionally our students do have some GIS training, but often they don't take it until later in their career, but who knows, maybe there'll be one that's taking it concurrently
Yeah.
too.
I would agree, though. I don't think GIS is the right mechanism, but that's the project.
Right.
Is there something that
Something.
can be used that is less hands-on, if you will?
So I guess I would ask Dave, is that a priority for the town right now to get a better handle on that or not?
I don't, I can't, this is a hard thing. This is like hard for me to speak on behalf of Parks and Rec, especially
Right.
from Mark, about where they are, because I mean, clearly that report has a lot of action items associated with it. So I'm sure they're not going to be like, yeah, let's keep going. I think they probably want to start getting going with some of the action items and recommendations that come out of that study
Right.
prior
But
to that.
that was my point.
Is that one of their action
That's
items?
yes, that's part of the action, is to get better information on the tree canopy.
Okay,
So that's why I
Right.
kind of said that seems to match the ones that we thought were high priority in the action
Okay.
plan, that matches their action plan. That is something that would be of interest to students because
Yep.
come up with a creative way
To do it.
rather than walking the streets.
like
And
drones.
we do have a computer science major coming in whose center project is actually the use of AI, drones, and other technologies to identify invasive species. So even if they're not in that group, they might be able to shed some light onto some.
Right, well, that's one of the other projects though.
That is what projects.
Right.
We
Those,
didn't get to that yet.
those might dovetail together and they could
Right.
kind of help each other out.
Or since there's 7 projects and 4 groups, maybe that is, or I guess 6 projects and 4 groups, because there's the 3 people on thing, there's
So
4 other groups,
four
there's 6
projects
other
and
projects.
right.
Right, there's 6 projects and 4 groups.
Okay.
So we could theoretically link those
Those two
two,
together.
yeah. And see, whatever they get to first, right? Whatever, because they're both kind of the same ideas, using technology to get better information about what's on the ground.
Correct.
So what Giselle put, because she did give me a couple notes ahead of time, she feels as though development impacts on tree canopy is a better option when thinking about timing and resources for the students.
So
That's her feedback.
development. All right, so we've got a
Sorry, could I just ask a question quick about that?
Sure.
Do you mean, like looking at what upcoming projects and what how those are zoned and like what potential projects the impact to tree canopy would be? Like identifying areas that would be more devastating to have developed? Is that kind of what you're looking at?
I don't know, because this is her
I have no idea what she's
project,
talking
so I
about.
wasn't really sure how she was thinking about this.
Okay, so we know there's going to be a tree project. We just don't have 100% handle on
Oh.
exactly what it's going to be, unless we just link it in with the invasive species mapping using drones or apps. And just,
You could tie
how about
in
we
with-
just call that mapping?
There you go.
You
I
call it
think
on
it's
mapping
fine
using
with the
drones or
POC.
apps,
Right.
It could tie in with the POCD update too, because if
right?
you want to look at tree canopy as one of the aspects that you consider with development projects.
Yeah, I like the idea of making that just mapping using drones or apps. And because what you're mapping doesn't matter, right? Whether it's invasive species, whether it's diseased trees, whatever it is, what are the options for,
Yeah, the only difference is on the city or town streets. You got something like I said, Google Map,
Right.
where you can walk the streets.
right?
Awful hard to do that in the forest.
Well, depending on which
But-
one, yeah, but if you're looking at the open spaces, the properties that have trails and stuff, then, but I think the point is, we're not looking at exactly, like, we're not looking for results of a map. We're looking at
Correct.
how you would do it.
Right. Technique.
And the techniques are going to be similar, I think, Tom.
Well, I'm reading the actual goal that's from the plan, okay? And it says objective 1.2, create tree canopy goal, target, and time frame. This, and then item 1.2.a is assess the reasonableness of target, okay? And then B is determine the level of tree planting to meet goal and account for the annual tree removals. So that's really what we're looking for, is that first part. I think that's what Giselle is saying. It's just, are the goals reasonable, and what tools do you have to go to make those measurements on an overall basis? And then, because right now, what was done before by the assessor that was hired in with the ARPA dollars that they did was take a look at, they limited themselves by this fact, we're gonna look at all the town-owned trees. Okay,
Right.
and they didn't do every
Right.
tree,
Oh,
they just
that's
did
right.
Some, right.
a number of them, some percentage. Just like on my street, they did like only a third of the street and stuff, so it really varies throughout the town, but they were, as far as how they were approaching it, and to make an assessment of to how much of a canopy do I want to assess in areas that are, where there's gonna be high return for it, also trying to make a balance there as far as why do I want to put, because we want to go out and plant trees to affect the canopy, these are the best areas to do it.
Yeah, I honestly don't have a good feeling about having the students try to figure out if the target's right away. That, I mean, that's,
Obviously, but they can provide inputs as far as relative to, we have these tools to make this assessment with, we have.
right, it's the tools that is,
Right.
right, the tools.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's still, that goes back to investigating the tools for getting that, okay.
For the assessment.
Right, so I'm gonna get rid of the whole trees as a separate thing and then have the one that's two down. Mapping using drones or apps, so tools for evaluating.
Yeah. Assessment. of-
2 years ago, there was
Right.
a few botanists that did one of the projects and they actually had transportation. So they were able to actually go down to like Pfizer and a lot of the parking lot areas and identify areas that would be, were low canopy, high need.
Right.
So.
All right, so I'm just getting rid of that one. And then so the one in between there is the get outdoors, the nature backpack. So we have the backpack. Jen and I did one hike that we got lots and lots of pictures and notes. So we have some really good stuff for them to work with if they're interested in doing that. But they would have to sort of commit to actually going to walk on trails. Because the last group didn't even go to the property.
Oh, right, right.
So,
Yeah, that might be a stretch. Right?
so I think we need to make sure somebody's willing to actually go walk out there and, get pictures of the spring stuff to to sort of balance the fall. Anyway. So are there any other questions or comments about the nature backpacks? Okay. And then the mapping using drones or apps, we just sort of talked about that. So
Skipped over fast fashion.
no, that's next.
I know,
Oh,
I think
all
we're
right.
looking at different orders.
We are.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just,
I
you know what I printed out must have been an older version.
It's fine.
Okay, okay.
Sorry. Okay, so sorry about that because I printed one to make notes
Without
on.
priority, yeah.
So mapping using drones or apps, and we'll look at either tree canopy and or invasives, and basically looking at tools that can be used by the town to get that kind of information. Okay. Any other comments about that?
It's going to be interesting when they look at it, the difference between winter and summer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know-
I'm really curious. Well, spring, because they'll be doing it like March
Well,
or April.
Right, which hasn't really started to leaf out.
Leaf out
Right.
yet, yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, we went in the fall, so it's kind of there's two shoulder seasons opposed to winter. We'd be nice to have all four seasons. But
well, if they go out and looking at what's already out there that they can look at,
Mm.
Yeah,
And
but
Yeah.
Google Earth
Oh, you-
data up close, something like that.
It's
Then-
different. Okay.
Let's say, as you walk around the campus, the Connecticut College campus now, and you look at the tree canopy, what does it really look like once it's filled out?
Right.
And usually the Google Maps are with leaves out. So it'll be interesting to see if.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they actually get out there and play with that whole
Yeah.
idea.
Well, I'm sure Connecticut College has a drone that they can use, so that could be part of it.
Maybe that's a whole nother, the drone is a whole nother issue. I apologize. I now see, I did have that way more filled out. Okay, so. Yep. And oh man, my notes aren't even close, but okay, so, I think I have the same numbers for the thing. So, all right. So the fast fashion, we're back. So I did fill that out based on the information that that Kristen gave me. So Jen, had you heard of fast fashion before this?
Yes, a matter of fact, it's too bad we didn't do this one last year because one of our students, this is actually her project for the center. She makes
Wow.
costumes for the theater department, and so she's always looking at reusing materials and upcycling and all of that.
Well, she could be a consultant for the group
Yeah.
that does this if somebody picks it. So is there any comments on the fast fashion discussion?
Well, it's an interesting question that it gets to be, what are the follow-on actions once you look at
Right.
what's there? I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I'm kind of,
Well, yeah, the
Scratching my
recommend
head on.
remedial steps, right?
yeah,
So,
that's, I'm scratching my head, and what would that be?
well, that's the whole point of letting the students play with it, right?
Okay.
So they'll probably grab onto one or two.
Yeah, I
aspects
mean,
of
and
what
let them
is
play
a
with it,
huge-
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and if, they've already got a, colleague that's doing it for the costume, can they
Yeah.
extend that to other places that do like, can they offer that
Right.
to other local theater?
Right.
I have
Or
a friend
even
that's,
looking at what options exist in Groton for like consignment stores or other places that they could recommend people going to.
yeah, and there's the trashy that where you recycle, you send them all your old materials and they do something with it. What do they do with it? Well, that'd be a good question to find out, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think it's a really fun solid waste topic.
Absolutely.
Are there any comments on the write-up on that? Okay, and then we did invasive species using drones. Again, we're mapping using drones. And then the final thing was, again, the play space. I have that as lowest priority because I don't know that we have all that much, available to play with
I
on
agree,
that
that's
one.
kind of.
I think
that's
that's
right.
probably
Yeah,
hardest one to do at this.
especially
point. Half
since,
the- Yeah.
well, that one was Megan, but
Oh, it was Megan?
yeah, that
Oh,
was
right.
Megan. She was the
Okay. Well, maybe
big
play for
cheerleader for the, Go Groton, and I don't even know what.
That's-
Dave, are you guys still doing something with
No,
Go
that's
Groton?
that's kind of done now. That
Okay.
project is over. Yeah. I think
Right.
the school's still doing some of that, but not with our department. So
Okay, so that's, I mean, if someone's really interested, we can let them play with it, but I wouldn't push that one by Jason. Okay, so any other questions or comments on that? Jen, do you have anything else you want to add?
I just had two questions. One, do you know what's the theme this year for the Earth Expo? Is it going to be like
I
a theme
think
of
Kristen
energy or
told us, but
plastic or?
I don't remember what it was.
I haven't seen anything come out yet from the
It's usually
from the
April.
organizer. Oh, you want the date? Sorry,
Date.
or the
No,
theme?
she said a theme.
The theme.
Oh, I thought she said theme. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully
not
we'll
yet.
know by the time we have the meeting.
I can. Oh, yeah.
Yes, if you can make sure that you
Yeah.
have the,
I'll contact Jason.
And we could also, one of the things we're doing this year that's a little different, Michelle and I talked about this, is before they actually flesh out their project more, we're requiring that they talk to all the other project contacts. Because I think what's been happening is they kind of flounder for a little bit, imagining what could and should be done. And I think it'd be just so much easier if we required them to meet first with the project contacts so that when they actually do their final project proposal, it's a little more grounded and a little more discreet and focused.
yeah.
The
We need
other
to give them a little more input into their development of their proposal. I think we've
and the other
been,
thing that we're
yeah.
doing is project updates. So Michelle, I don't know, you may not have seen the question when I sent you the syllabus dates, but do you want?
That's what I was hunting for my phone. It wouldn't let me search for emails.
I was wondering if for project updates, I was just gonna have them do them like every 2 weeks or so, like, it doesn't make sense to have them do it every week, but I didn't know if just Michelle, you wanted to be updated or if they were also required to email it to all their project updates.
I think they should email it to whoever the contacts are.
Okay.
And
And-
we'll establish for sure who the contacts are.
Yeah.
My last question was, I didn't see anything on the POCD update on here for project choices, which I think is okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss it.
For what, Jen?
So updates on the plan of conservation and development.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of like.
I mean,
state-
that's fine. I think the projects, you have more than enough that people are gonna grab.
Well, the thing is that like the solid waste is for that, right? So we're not calling it POCD. We're just taking things that we're interested in and making them
Yeah.
projects. So they're not labeled as that.
Okay.
And it's Groton 2035 now as opposed to the POCD. So we're not calling them part of the plan, but basically pretty much most of the things we do are part of that plan in some form or other. So
Just know in
By
the past,
definition.
there's a lot
by
of action
definition, yeah.
in food sovereignty and in the community gardens for the schools and the community. So I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't a project that you want, that you.
Right, the follow on from the stuff last year is what you're saying, the stuff, because the guard, yeah. I think we more focused on the stuff that we're interested in now as
That's
opposed to just trying to link to stuff in the past. Especially losing our town contacts.
Yeah.
Anyway, because if Megan were still here, then the whole community garden thing would make sense.
Mhm.
But it's right now, it really doesn't. Now, having Sabat in that position.
The bit.
The bit, then maybe next year we'll come back to having things that are the sustainability or whatever, because he'll be there to help us flesh out what he might be interested in. But defining something that we don't know if he's interested in, and then having him try to be part of it, that just is a recipe for disaster in my book.
Plus, he's probably pretty busy.
Yeah,
The climate
we're in the midst of
ready.
writing several grants, so yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of focus on the stuff that we're more what we've on the commission, we're definitely interested in helping out with, right? Anything else, Jen?
No, thank you all so much, especially Ann and Michelle and all the other folks that take the time to work with our students. We really appreciate it. We think we've got a really dynamo group going forward. So that will hopefully give a good name to the new generation. So that's good.
Right. And then the other thing is the presentations would be that first Monday, Larry. So just like in the past few years, we would have in the regular meeting
And the
be
special meeting.
just the presentations, and then the special meeting the following week to
For
be
regular.
for what would be a regular
Yep.
meeting. If that's still okay with everybody. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's- Okay. Is that,
When are we going to establish our calendar?
And that was.
We already-
May,
we already
wasn't
did.
it?
We already did, but
Yep.
that's not in there. Okay.
That's in
so
there.
we'll-
No.
Well, the original one is, but that's not a big deal, so
Yeah,
we're,
okay.
we're talking,
Monday, May 4th.
yeah, so
So it'd be the 10th for our special. meeting.
11.
To the 11th.
May,
11th,
yeah,
sorry.
May 4th and May 11th.
So we'll add a May 11th special meeting. Okay.
Is it April or May?
May,
May.
May, yeah. After, it's after.
because the Earth Day is April, so
Yeah.
it's always after.
That's right. That's right.
So they can report on it.
All right,
Okay.
Very good.
Anybody have anything else? Thank you, Jen, for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Thank you for all that you all do. I'm really impressed with your board.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
Bye now.
thank you. All right. We are tabling the discussion with Jeff Church because he backed out. But I got something going on the side with Giselle on to try and get him off meeting, if you will.
Oh,
One-on-one to see if we can trap him, if you will, sort of, so to speak, and have that discussion. I will just briefly, when we get to the tree advisory board session, look at the action list, but I'll wait on that. All right, so next up is the report of chair. All right, so bunch of items. So the conservation website was updated with the 2025 economic model update and the open space plan minor update that we agreed. So that's out there. Did have a subcommittee meeting with Tom and Giselle on the tree action plan. We'll get to that later. And it's in the agenda. I submitted, based upon your direction from last meeting, submitted our comments on Groton 2035, and I kind of sprayed it around. That I guess some confirmation that has been
Yep.
communicated and
It's been delivered to the consultant.
they agree with everything, right?
It's really the commission. So the plan is that at the next special meeting on Monday, January 26th, January 26th, the commission's going to start talking about, they've been working on the future land use map, as well as the comments that they have received so far.
And that is one where no public comment.
No public comment. That's a steering committee.
Okay, so,
Yep.
but we've got our
Yep,
comments
the
in.
comments are, yep.
Now, that's one side. Is there any feedback? Let's see, ask it differently. We will the Conservation Commission will make itself available to the consultants
Yep.
if they have any
Yep.
clarification questions on.
And yeah, I let Jeff Davis know that.
Okay. All right. I did submit a support letter for the Deep Garden project. Unfortunately, with Tabitha leaving, she was writing the grant application, so it never got in.
Oh, geez.
So my letter, but I got a nice response that said, thank you for your letter. And,
No.
and when you get around to doing the grant application, we'll see you then. So that was a missed opportunity from the town. All right, the next thing was I had a meeting on the 22nd of December with John Reiner, a variety of topics. How do I want to go through this? So the summary was, well, I'll say what I did and the net of it. So I did review the update to the economic model. That was more information and feedback. I did point out that the value difference between open space and single-family homes actually improved, meaning the value of open space is now even greater than it was before. Anywho, as we get forward with any future plans, we'll run it through the new model and see if that provides any update. Sale of town property. It was related to the other email I got earlier. We did discuss more future projects, mainly the SB Butler and Mystic Oral School. That John reiterated that we are involved in the TOPE process, but the two on the table are already beyond that. So I won't say the boat has sailed, but the boat has sailed. And did make a suggestion to work with local interest groups, specifically not versus. I think part of what happens is the town says, oh, here's a general session. And I'm saying, well, go to a GOSA meeting, with their participants, go to a GCA meeting with their participants, go to a teacher's, send a school. I mean, something that has a basis of local folks versus a generic one putting in. So that was my suggestion to John. We'll see what happens. Next topic was stewardship and proposed change to policy. So there was some exchange, as I mentioned earlier, on a legal review, that any policy change, legal reviews, any policy change would be viewed to be non-compliant. That's a legal recommendation to the town council. Therefore, it's highly unlikely that we'd ever get off the ground when the attorney says, don't bother.
Policy change on anything?
Pretty much, yes. But this in regards to the use of the funds, the government
okay.
funds coming in. Now, it doesn't say that you could not create a new fund. And for monies going forward is to have that dedicated to stewardship. So John's recommendation, which is something that was on our agenda anyway, was to invest on the next budget cycle to get, staff added for Parks and Rec for stewardship versus adding dollars. So his suggestion was it's better to add than dollars, which kind of gets flaky. It's hard to get rid of people than dollars the next cycle. So I said, okay, that makes sense. But to also, as I've just said, also establish a CIP to reserve funds to support matching grant programs for stewardship for state and federal programs. So that's a little different way of trying to allocate specific monies for stewardship. So that's something, those two, we need to discuss when we get part of our budget item on the agenda. And I guess we have budget item on agenda. We'll get to that in terms of the schedule and when we should start doing something. I guess as a follow-up to that, in addition to support that, is that each of us has an alignment with certain of the local conservation partners, is when the budget process gets out there, that we go out there and encourage them to weigh in, if you will, at the appropriate time and give them the right date or the way to input a written document and then show up at the meetings. Has that been restricted this year on public comments?
For the budget process?
Well, just
Don't
anything.
know, because they haven't adopted the new council, they have not adopted a new set of of rules that they had to comply with. They accepted rolling the ones over from the last one, which had restrictions on it, but I know that they're going to look at that.
Okay.
Item, it was targeted, as far as the assessment of the different assignment.
Right, yeah, that bothered me a bit. I mean, I could see restricting it, so it doesn't go on forever, but it seemed to be overly restrictive, my opinion. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yes. The next topic was with PA 490. John's view was, I guess my summaries don't rock the boat. He thought that by potentially of us doing something that would bring attention to the PA 490, it might get more visibility to developers to go look at those properties and do something. The law of unintended consequences is, I guess, my interpretation of it. And I went, okay, that's fair. That's why they're unintended consequences. So we should just think about that when we get to that section. Not a bad input there. The Groton 2035, I gave him a draft copy. We talked about that. Thanks to Ann and Tom for providing me information ahead of time. Okay. We also discussed the small modular reactors. That's something that's in the agenda. And he thought that would be a push because, that's really something the town council would have to do. And I said, this is a 10-year project. This is just the very, very, very early thoughts on it. And we kind of looked at each other and says, we have probably 20 or 30 small modular reactors in the town already.
On the sub, well, in the.
Yes, every site has one.
Yeah.
All right, not including the warheads.
Yeah.
Right, so to sit there and go, oh my God, it's like, seriously, guys? I mean,
And I have some comments, but we're going to talk about, that's on the agenda, so.
yeah, that's
Save my
on the agenda.
comments
So
for the agenda.
it's we're in a little different position than almost anywhere else in the United States.
Except for the other places that have nuclear subs,
Yeah,
Kings Bay or whatever.
well, Newport Beach.
Yeah, there's a handful of places that are the same
Yeah.
position. Not
But
many,
not too many.
not too many.
Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But we have them under development too.
Yeah.
We're building them, right? Anywho, this thought it was a little bit, but so it might be that might be easier here because of that. I mean, it's the community is.
That's, we're gonna talk about it,
Okay, all
Larry.
right, okay.
I'm like, I want us to make comments,
Okay,
talking about
okay.
it, so stop talking.
And we concluded with John wanting me to express to the commission for the work you all do and the efforts you contribute to the town. So thank you from the.
Do we get a raise?
What's
Get a
that?
bonus?
Yes,
You gotta add a boy, add a girl. What's
the
that?
same one you got last year.
Yeah. Okay, report of commission. We'll start this end.
Okay, I have a couple items. One is that, Sierra Patrick, is gonna be running another one of these 5 corner, things, except it's coming up here. Well, I'm out of country, and I didn't know if anybody wanted to take my, place. This is on the date here, so I make sure I got it right on, the
22nd.
yeah, January 22nd at 3 p.m. The stakeholders committee meeting, that they're looking for us to provide. They're gonna be making a presentation there in regard to what they've already heard and where they're going with it, but the stakeholders are supposed to be reviewing all these comments that they've received from the public and trying to so that's it's good. They got a contractor who's gonna put all this together and make a presentation. And then we're supposed to, we're offered a seat at the table to make comments on it. from the
Okay,
commission.
I'm out of state that day. Anyone else can
You know,
cover that?
It's a Zoom. It is a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, Zoom meeting.
It's a Zoom meeting, yes. I'm off grid, so.
Well, I'll probably be in a car. I don't
I've-
like to do.
To check my calendar again.
I have another meeting that day, so.
Maybe if I just pass this to Dave and you guys could take a look at it, pass
Okay.
it along if anybody's interested and just represent us. And the other, next thing was that I went to this store and they're still getting plastic bags out, so I don't know what the right way is to.
I'll tell you why. Same thing. Take a picture of it, send it to Tom Zanarini, say exactly who the
Yeah,
store is.
Still have the name on
Store
it.
I know.
They got their name, this is Dollar General.
Oh.
And basically he goes and enforces it.
Yeah, so just to let you know, I'm still getting
Yep. I'm
plastic bags in town.
sure there's still a couple places that try to sneak it. Well, sometimes it's change of ownership, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of, and they're just unaware and stuff. So yeah, but Tom is, for that kind of stuff, is the perfect person. Okay.
The other topic, other I'll talk when I get to my agenda.
All right.
There was supposed to be a climate ready Groton meeting in December, but it was canceled due to wireless issues. or something.
No, we lost everything.
Oh, you lost everything?
Everything. We couldn't, we had,
Power?
we didn't lose power.
Oh,
But one of the fiber lines went down and we had nothing. We lost
Wow.
phones, we lost computers, we lost everything. So that was the whole reason. So we're sitting there and we're
Oh.
like, all of a sudden, we're like, what's going on? And the meeting was supposed to start at like 2 or something like that. Or
Yep.
3 or whatever it
yeah, it
was.
was.
And it was actually out until like I think 10:30 that night. We actually had a one of our first meetings. We had to do old school. I think it was wetlands that night. We couldn't advertise. There was no Zoom. It was just in person. So there was nothing like that, unfortunately.
It was the same way.
Yep. So that was the reason why we're sitting there on another call at the same time and texting the consultant saying, "Can you send something else? Because we can't send anything out. We can't access it anywhere." So they were able to send it out for us. It's unfortunate, but that's rescheduled.
Yeah,
now
so it's rescheduled for
next Monday.
Monday,
Yep.
yeah. So I'll be at that. It's a Zoom meeting too, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, my turn. I don't have anything. Early December, we had a new granddaughter, so
Oh,
that's taken.
nice.
taken up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nothing besides my stuff I'm talking about.
All right. Next item, old business, open space. Oh, I'm sorry. Giselle did publish a tree warden memo, which is in the agenda, but.
Yep.
Old business, open space inventory. Well, we can revisit our PA 490 discussion.
Well, or the other thing, the only thing, I've gone to NOAA and remember like 2 months ago, and I explained, hey, we want to take the 490, give me a map and put this as available, protected high priority space. And Noah's, I checked with him today to see how he's doing on that, where we are in we're still down in he hasn't got to us yet. So just let you know, he hasn't forgotten
Okay.
as far as the map update, because that's really the next new columns in the new map that would come out of our.
Well, the database has it in there.
It has. This is really a new column that.
Was it? I thought we had PA 90.
You have TA 490, but this is what a categorization that would put is highly desirable land and stuff as far as that whole discussion I'd given 2 months ago. He was supposed to come up with a map. I kind of kludged the map together in the discussion, and then he said he was going to finalize it, get it all, update the inventory, adding a new column to it. He's still working on it.
One of the things to suggest, and I think this was part of the conversation with John too, is just be very cautious about that because of advertising. So it might be better as a internal.
While we're doing, this is all internal.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, but what we're looking at is rather than coming up with just throwing darts at the walls as on like was done for the last time, we're going to say is that we want to prioritize the lands that we have already in the inventory as far as on which of those would be highly desirable to be better protected.
I think what Dave is saying is we have our internal database,
Right.
which is stuff generated. Doing it in there because nobody has access to that other than us, versus putting it out there in the GIS.
This goes back to
database.
what is the Planning and Zoning Commission going to do for this part of the POCD Groton 2035 plan when they're identifying what are the interest areas.
It'll be more fuzzy.
I don't know. That's what we
that's kind
haven't
of what
worked
we're
this
talking about.
together.
Yeah, I thought it was based on what John said, it's going to be very fuzzy. They
They're gonna be
don't
fuzzy.
want to.
So areas of the town where there are opportunities but not calling out specific properties just
Properties, yeah.
because we've learned from
Not to.
several of them that, hey, oh, you like it? Oh, here you go. It just went up another $1 million.
Prices went up. Yeah.
So
And that specifically has happened, that kind of thing?
it's part of the reason why
Yeah.
one of the properties has not gone anywhere,
Okay,
and it's through the roof for what the property is.
Yes, we all know what that property
we know
is.
that.
Yes, okay. I agree. Okay,
That's all I have.
okay.
And just so you know, it's not just outside asks to know, it's everyone because of the new assessments. He is so flat out. It's really like this has to be a super high priority for, we need it for an event.
Yeah,
coming up.
then
So
it's
that's-
not. I'm not,
it's-
that's okay.
It's been he's crazy right now. So we try not to bother him. But he gets it. He is
Yeah, the
I know
revaluation
yeah,
is
he's
a
definitely
priority.
yeah.
Because he's the only priority.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Open space planning, I did not have any new information there. Anyone comments there? Groton 2035. So the letter is out there. Is there any comments on I mean, we can always put in an addendum to the letter if you guys want. So,
I think consider how little, I mean, we talked about the next version is gonna have a lot more information that we can make
It
comments.
should
to,
have
so.
the implementation.
well,
plan.
yeah, there's no action items in
Right.
this particular version, so.
And part of it too is that it's complicated right now, and we've been pushing the consultant pretty heavily about this of that we need the chapters. We don't just need, we need the chapters of exactly what they're going to look like with the
Yeah.
maps and the data tables and everything else, because right now it's kind of more words
Yeah, there's
and
so
not a
much
lot
to
of,
comment on.
yeah,
It's
so
yeah.
it's hard. So
not
one,
enough
that's,
substance.
so I think we're meeting tomorrow or late this week or early next week, whatever it is. And that's a big part of it because there's not only, we need the future land use map. That's really important. And we also need to start really seeing what this is going to look like together as a document because it's challenging to comment on it as it is.
Generalities for the most part.
Yes.
It's,
Yep.
Very much so, yeah.
All right. Next one is budget support. So we did talk about the budget from a calendar point of view. I guess my question is, the calendar, when we start a a campaign, if you will, and getting other groups involved. So what's that look like?
I know there's still internally, each of the departments are still working on them. Nothing has been finalized or submitted to, I think there's been some initial stuff submitted to the town manager, maybe, but if not, I know they're still working on that, right? And kind of fine tuning what what the asks are. So I'm assuming, I know we said we were going to try January. It sounds like it might be more of a February thing where we might start hearing more, but I have that kind of starred on my thing too. So as soon as I hear stuff, I'll let you know.
All right, for those of us who have our liaison to local groups, maybe it's time to just give a heads up, hey, this is coming. We don't have the details, but think about it. I mean, you want something done. The budget cycle is a major weapon is probably the wrong word.
Tools better.
Tool to get your priorities implemented. Okay. Vacant land review. Well, I mean, I have nothing more than what I discussed with my meeting with John. So
I have something very brief, but so for Pleasant Valley, they've been doing a good job keeping it up to date. They just, I think it was a week ago, they just updated the section 5 of that. And what you'll see on that, if you go to that page, just less than a page and a half here, it has basically executed purchase and sale agreement for
Yep.
Pleasant Valley, and it also has the 5 RFP responses. So now that it's executed, those are now, you can look at those online. There's links right there.
is there a calendar, a date for feedback against those RFPs from the public, or?
Well, the purchase and sale with Spinnaker has been executed. So that's it. This is just to show, like,
This is disclosure.
disclosure to show.
No, I see, but if there's several RFPs,
Yep.
do we have the opportunity to say, ooh, we like that one?
No, it's
No,
no.
they selected one.
The purchase and sale has been
This is
executed.
just like
okay,
FOIA.
Yeah, so
I'm
this
sorry.
is just showing and
What they had to choose.
What they
from.
had to choose
yeah,
from.
exactly. So
Good.
if you want to go back and look at the other options, that's what the council will.
After the
But
fact.
and you could point
Oh,
at
well, we
something
can't
and
do it.
say, I like that one, but it doesn't have any effect.
Do you know the option that they picked?
Yes.
Yes,
And
Just named it.
can you just summarize what the option was?
Not well, because I haven't even looked, and it's
Oh,
been
okay.
modified a lot, even since the original, based upon negotiations back and forth. So I don't know enough about that but if you go online, it should have everything on there. And that's the hard thing, because it's like you follow and you're like, oh, this is what it is, but this is not what it is because the negotiation makes it this, and then it still has to go in front of planning and zoning, and that could change completely too based upon that. There are certain things that the documentation said that must be done, but then there's other ways that are modified before it goes to planning and zoning.
And I did pay real close attention and read through the thing and our comments where we said we'd like to have an easement installed, that didn't make it.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Okay. So there's just a set aside for a park, a small half.
yeah, that half acre.
Half acre, that's it.
Yeah.
From our concerns, that was the only thing that was included.
And again, we don't know what the final is going to be.
Yeah.
Once
The first itself.
yeah, I mean, as you know, topography on that site, especially the upper part, there could be another whole chunk that's set aside for walking trails. That's the part we
right,
won't know.
which is
Yeah.
you look at that and you're going, how could you not? Like you're right. It's
It could. We just don't know until we actually start seeing, the actual plans, and they go in front of planning and zoning and review and everything like that. So
okay.
What was, when you were talking about the Butler? Is that,
No, that was Pleasant.
no, this is Pleasant, but you also mentioned the Butler School.
Yes.
And that is just out there?
No, it's coming. It's not. Nothing's been executed per se.
nothing has happened.
Nothing
Here.
happened. That's a future thing, and that's the point. It hasn't even gone through the TOP.
Yeah, hasn't it? Yep. It's
So-
not even an idea right now.
Yeah, so we
right.
have a vote is probably the wrong term. We have participation, at least in the TOP committee, for the next step,
Yep.
right? So
Okay.
that's at least, so it's gonna be a while on that one.
Right. Okay,
Um,
thank you.
Let's see, Connecticut College Project.
We already did?
We did that.
Yep.
Oh. Open space stewardship. Well, we kind of did that too.
Yes, and I would just like to add, since, we lost Tabitha, so we're not exactly starting from scratch, but we're gonna have to talk with Mark and see what he wants to do or not want to do. And I think this is one of the things, when whoever chooses that project, we need to have a meeting sooner rather than later to see, how much of what Tabitha has, like what, because she was like right in there with using this app or whatever. And Mark seemed, when we met with him, he seemed to have a handle on it. But I don't know how involved he's going to be, how much he cares or whatever. Have you talked to him at all, Tom? Have you seen
No.
Mark? And have you heard anything? No. So I think we're going to have a stewardship discussion with Mark at some point.
Well, let me take step one. Let me just reach out to him
Okay.
one-on-one and just talk about where he is, his replacement plans, and kind of
Yep, that sounds good.
off the record is, nothing's off the record, but as off the record as I can be, just to get a sense
Right.
of where he's at.
I mean, because we still want to continue, chipping away at our plan.
Yep.
And especially now that I have people that are actually willing to go out and, beta test whatever we come up with. It'd be silly not to at least try to use, continue doing something. I just don't know how fast it's going to go with Tabitha being gone. But yeah, reaching out to him to get a sense of where he stands and what he wants to do about it would be great, Larry. Thank you.
All right, we'll do that.
I'd just like to go back to the budget. I have the dates here, because you were asking what the timeline is. Department heads have to submit their data in by January 14th. The subdivisions and Board of Education have to put theirs in by February 28th. And then the town manager has to submit his his summary budget to the town council by the 15th of March. That's right out of town charter.
So actually, we don't have a lot of time.
Well, I'm just
When you
telling you,
think about
what
it.
the
Yeah.
bottom
Yeah, no,
line is.
no,
So
no,
Mark
no.
will be submitting his stuff
Yep.
within the next 10 days here,
Let me
as far as for
let
what,
me add budget to I've been writing down things to talk to him about, so I'll add.
to what he's planning on doing.
Yep.
I don't know. He probably should, just wait and see.
Yep, no, okay. Um. Let's see, okay, so that was open space stewardship, the outreach. I guess the next big thing we have is the Earth Day.
Earth Day, yeah.
Yep, so that'll cover there. Now, the section on tree advisory board, she's not here, but if you look, let's see, I'm trying to recall which version. Because we did an update. There's a tree advisory board, tree plan. We did a version update. And did that get out, Dave?
I don't.
No, I never got anything submitted for that, except for what we looked at last month or the month after. I had no updates from her or from anyone on that.
Okay, well, we did update it. Let me,
Yeah, because you guys had a subcommittee meeting, right?
yes. And we did an update. And then based upon that update, what I'll do is, let me get this into Dave.
Yeah, I can send it out.
And to get it out. Let's see about, why is it my screen scrolling? Oh, come on. Holy moly. All right, let me close it down, reopen it. What I wanted to do is try and share it. And open it up again, see if it comes up correctly this time. Or maybe not. Okay, that's looking better. Okay. Um, I gotta go to Zoom. 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 Share. Do tree plan. Okay. So what we did is, based upon the input we had, let me get down here. So unfortunately, I have a big, a big gap here, so there's a little bit on the bottom, the way this is working. But we had the timing, our priority, there were some notes and rationale that was in there, and then this is kind of reserved for what we are doing. And if you go down here, this has all the lists and the priorities that we put on it. Then what I did with Michelle
You mean
is
Giselle?
I'm sorry, with Giselle, Michelle. It's very confusing for me. Okay.
It is.
And went to the medium, and then went to the high priority. Okay, and you wind up with not a very long list, but it gets back to review and update the tree ordinance to meet community, right? For review, develop ongoing inventory management tactics. That's kind of what we talked about with the College project. And establishing communication, et cetera. So the thought was, and Giselle is going to take the action to look at our high priority items with Jeff Church on what he can do for it. And I'll, as part of my reach out with Mark, I'll also review these items. So I think, given the fact that she's not here, what I'll do is I'll send you the total listing, and then we can get it out to you guys, and hopefully we can have a more substantive discussion next time. So I will publish.
So for something like this, just so you know, like in terms of how to share it, it's really hard to share as part of an agenda packet. So just a couple suggestions there is if you can shrink some of those columns to fit onto as much as you can onto a page. I can put it into landscape form, but it's any Excel, Google Sheets, anything is really, really hard to share through Provox for that. So again, as much as you can kind of shrink stuff down and have it, wrap around text and stuff, it's easier when I ask Shannon to kind of make it into something.
I will endeavor to shrink.
All right, good.
Okay.
No, I don't want you to take anything out. I just
No,
want you to,
I'm not going to take anything
Yeah.
out.
and then it's easier for me to share with you all.
Yep.
I can send this out, right? But then I can't share it to the public.
I heard
That's the
you.
hard thing. No, I know. Just
I will do that. Stop sharing. Okay. So I will do that. New business. So that was out there. I mean, there was a lot of background information. What I thought is I would just share this PowerPoint that's in there. So Zoom is share small, medium, reactive.
So how did this discussion start, Larry? Is that something because, oh, okay.
Ah,
I saw that this was that there was a policy thing that came up through the department, the state did. I said, wow, the state is, encouraging this and it provided some legislation that, would provide future planning dollars potentially for towns that are interested in hosting small modular reactors. They said, well, we already have, like Larry mentioned, 16 nuclear submarines here, with those, so Groton's already got 16 small reactors already in the town, so what's one more? Particularly if you were to locate it like in the city limits to some degree, but the town needs to would have to at least says, hey, we're willing to take a look at this and from a planning perspective. And as from, I think we should be advocating it as a conservation measure to the planning so that they then make this, oh, we're willing to take a look at this and bring people in. That if you want to go and pursue this, this is one of the towns in the state that would be willing to be supportive of it,
One would think.
to take a policy
So
action.
Tom rattled my cage. So I then did some research and provided, I mean, there's a lot more detail, but I think the short form, let's see, page down. Why not? It's not paging down. There it goes. That if you look at, kind of the high level stuff, is we rely on a lot of natural gas. Oops. But you're looking for zero carbon generation, and
But it's not
But
zero,
that's
taking Michelle's approach of life
not
cycle
even
and close to the zero.
Not even close.
So let's just get that out there now.
well,
Yeah.
it's a comparison with what?
Oh, other renewables.
Pretty much
I
anything.
have a very nice chart actually somewhere.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the
Right.
problem is the focus is on when you're using it, right? But I have a couple comments. One is I actually had started looking into this already because the Coast Guard just established a nuclear oversight group because there are people looking at it and for nuclear ships, commercial nuclear ships and floating commercial plants. And so because I used to teach physics and actually had nuclear responsibility and nuclear safety training, I just went, well, what exactly are they talking about, right? So I'd already looked at it before you brought up. My biggest issue is that if they're going to do this, they should absolutely not be doing uranium. They're now thorium
Thorium is better.
plants,
Yeah.
and their China is actually using them. So they're not just in development; they're actually usable thorium plants. And thorium is
China, you said was using.
yeah.
Okay.
And thorium is much cleaner it's much more plentiful. It's better on the environment to get, and it's much cleaner as a waste. So like I would say uranium, no.
Yeah.
I don't care if the Navy's got 16 of them. The Navy's got a whole organization taking care of that issue. The town doesn't have that organization.
Right.
And the waste is still a huge issue.
Yes.
No matter, but if they go now, if you're talking about thorium reactor, it's a whole different discussion. So that's my opinion.
Is there any activity in the Coast Guard to look at thorium reactors?
I honestly don't know. Well, they're not going to. The Coast Guard's not going to investigate any of this stuff. They're just creating people that have to have to inspect these things and approve them and
Right.
all of that, the regulatory part of it. And I honestly don't know what that group's going to do and how much they're going to, how they think they're going to. Basically, the company will say, "Hey, we want to build one of these," and then the Coast Guard has to oversee it. So I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing. I just know that I heard about thorium years and years ago, and the reason that when all this came up back in the 40s that they chose uranium is because you can make weapons out of it, even though thorium was a better choice for energy. And then people are finally starting to develop thorium reactors. So I think it's suicide to use a uranium reactor of any kind.
I did not say to use uranium.
Well, I was looking at your thing doesn't say anything about what the fuel
Correct.
is.
Right.
Yeah.
Other than
But
the fact that the fuel is small pellets.
it's a different, but what I'm saying is a different discussion depending on what the fuel is. It's a different life cycle analysis depending on what the
The
fuel
whole
is.
point is, if you start at the highest level, is it an option in the pantheon of energy.
Well, that's my point.
Hey,
The answer is different depending on the fuel.
okay,
That's my point.
It's a very expensive option.
It's a very expensive option.
Very
it is,
expensive.
it is. it-
And are you
yes.
better?
And not
investing
environmentally,
in
it's-
other
Yeah.
renewable energy. This is not renewable energy.
Mm, But even now we get this whole discussion about, the waste, et cetera, trying to, and the replacements for.
Well, it's not just the
solar
waste, it's,
For the
it's,
fact that how, what's the
Yeah.
ability to replace and maintain the wind farms and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
it,
I don't know.
the damage to the earth in mining uranium
Uranium.
is huge.
Huge.
Off the remain, let's put uranium on the side,
Okay,
okay? And I'm just saying alternate to coal and gas fired power generation plants. I don't disagree that,
honestly, I would rather have fuel than
Connecticut-
uranium.
And Connecticut has so much
yeah.
nuclear waste. There's like 5 million pounds of waste between Millstone and Yankee stored on site because the US DOT was supposed to take care of this in 1998.
Well, they still,
Haven't
they're
done it,
not
and they
taking it
still
off
haven't
site.
Done it.
Still,
There's no place to take it.
It's stuck in barrels.
They had a mountain, the mountain in.
No, Yucca Mountain is gone. It's an option. And now they're saying it's 10 to 15 more years that a solution will be in place. So that's 2040. And then you have, I didn't even think about all the radioactivity and nuclear waste or whatever you want to call it, that activity at the sub base.
so subbase,
But they're self-contained.
Contained,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So, I mean, at this point, there's no good solution. A Deep apparently was supposed to take care of some of this waste by 2025. That's written somewhere and nothing's happened yet.
Because there's no
So-
solution.
There is no solution. And so I don't think we should be creating additional. We can't even manage what we have as a state. And I don't know why. Well, I guess I wouldn't want to have our town in that position. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Other comments?
Good
Alright.
information. Thank you.
So, yeah, this was again, something that was many, many, many years. And it was just, do we want to have to do anything or not?
Hmm.
And right now, what I heard is, let's not, let's wait and see.
Yeah,
what the state.
you gotta look at the big picture. I mean, it's just, this is way narrow. And you gotta look at the whole picture.
Oh, election of officers. That's
Oh.
on the agenda. It is January. Came around awfully quick, didn't
It did. Does.
I nominate Larry for chair and Bray for vice chair. If someone else wants secretary, I'd be more than happy to turn it over.
Oh, I was going to nominate you, Michelle, for secretary.
I'm also happy to keep it if nobody wants it.
Are there other nominations?
Well, we could nominate.
We can nominate
Kristen.
Tom.
Tom.
He's got a lot of extra time now, so. All
Are
right,
you willing to continue, Larry?
That's the question.
I think certainly to get through this Groton 2035.
Okay.
That's one of my items on my
Good.
ticky list to get through.
Hmm.
I thought that.
So you're gonna be in chair till 2035. Yay.
No.
Yes. Down, right?
Now, write that down in the minutes.
Which is 2026.
That was good.
I couldn't resist.
I did think about that, but anyway. But, we came out with a new plan, got the new 2035, so those are to me milestones that, I'd be interested in shepherding, I guess is the right word,
Perfect.
through.
What about you, Bray?
I accept the position with the caveat, not 235. Sure.
per year.
But
a year.
if you accept it through 2035, that means you're here in 2035.
Right. The election's for
You
just
won't
a
want
year.
to see me then.
Okay.
So why don't we make, it sounds like everyone has accepted their nomination. So why don't we make someone make an official motion to approve the slate as proposed?
I think it'd be someone that's not on the slate.
Yeah, that would be good.
Tom, you want?
I'll make the motion.
Yeah.
Except the slate as proposed.
And I second it.
Oh,
Yeah, you can still say it.
all in favor? What? All in favor?
You can say all in favor now.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Should I
Yes, it is.
abstain? No. Okay. Well, thank you for your confidence. And I commit, I will not launch any activity into Venezuela.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Off the table.
Jeez.
Report of staff.
I mentioned one thing, but I'll mention it again. So Monday, the 26th of January, there's a special meeting to hear no comments, no public comments that day, but that's at 4:30 about the the future land use map as well as comments. However, a week and a half prior to that, on Thursday, the 15th, we will have, as far as I know, our last public open house for Groton 2035. That's at 5:30 at Thrive 55, food. And the plan is, again, to specifically look at, to talk about where we are right now, but specifically to look at the land use, future land use map. And
What time did you say that was?
that's at 5:30.
5:30.
So we'll have lots of maps around the room, and you can look on a computer, you can look on it on printout maps of where that is based upon feedback from planning and zoning. And by the 26th, we should be pretty
Have
close to having the chapters as they are, so we can start moving towards the public hearing. And that's quite a drawn out piece that we need to do in order to get this here. So the dates will probably start sometime in the late winter, early spring,
Just let me just clarify, you said that it's on the 27th?
26th.
So the special meeting. the day
Special
of-
meeting's on the 26th.
Yeah, 26.
Where's that supposed to be?
Special meeting will be, it's either gonna be here or it'll be in one.
And
And you can also listen, it's Zoom, so you can just listen, because there's no public comment for it. But the open house is at Thrive on the 15th.
at the open house, will the implementation plan be presented?
That's a good question. We're gonna find that out for sure. I mean, it has, the initial had been part of that, so, but it's not in any great form right now, so I think it's,
Okay.
once we get to see the whole chapters and stuff like that, that'll be.
And that's more toward the 26th, the whole chapters.
Yeah, we're hoping. I
We're
mean,
hoping.
that's where we're trying to really push the consultant
Okay.
to kind of really start finishing this up, so people know so we know what it's gonna look like, you know,
Well, yeah.
and everything, so.
What's the time on the 26th?
26 is at 4:30.
Thank you.
And again, you don't have to be here. You can remote in if you want to listen. You can listen to the recording after this. You can listen to my update in February, or Larry or Tom's or whoever.
I'm off the grid.
Oh, you're off the grid, so.
So what dates are you off the grid, Tom?
Well, South America.
But what dates?
I leave on the 19th, January. I'll be back on the 6th of February, so I will miss next month's meeting.
I'm out of town on the 15th. Is somebody gonna cover, that's the open meeting?
I'll try to go.
I'll
be-
I think, yeah, I think I'll.
Okay, all right, so that'll get covered.
Yeah, I plan on going to that as well.
Okay, well, lots of coverage. All right, so we'll get feedback on the land use from that section at our,
But it's gonna be
February.
recorded.
The 26th will be, yes.
yeah, not the.
Not the 15th. I mean, I don't think we've ever.
No, they haven't done anything.
Yeah,
That's-
it's really
those are hard to
it's-
record
it's
because
hard
there's
to
stuff
do it
going on
there.
around.
It's not, unless it's like
It
a
is
real
hard.
presentation. I think Jeff's gonna talk for a few minutes about how the whole thing's where we're at. Maybe that'll be recorded. That's up to IT and stuff, but I don't think it's probably more. It's kind of more the breakout sessions and stuff.
That leaves us our last topic,
What? I move we adjourn.
our perennial
I second it.
adjournment.
Let's
motion.
do the job as secretary.
All in favor?
Right.
Oh, there we go. Make that job as secretary. All in favor? Unanimous with unanimous
Yeah.
consent. We are so adjourned.
So adjourned.
We are so adjourned.